You've spent your entire life trying to please people who don't even notice your effort. You've been chasing validation, approval, and attention, and it's been killing your peace. Today, that ends. This audiobook isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming untouchable. When you stop caring about the wrong things, you regain control over the only thing that truly matters, your mind. This is the art of not caring, and once you learn it, nothing and no one will ever have power over you again.
You have a choice. Every day you make a decision. Do you give your power away, or do you take it back? Too many people live in a constant state of approval seeking. They need applause to feel alive. They wait for recognition like it's oxygen. And every time they don't get it, they crumble. They doubt themselves. They question their worth. They allow someone else's opinion to define their reality. That stops today. You don't need their permission. You don't need their approval. You don't need anyone to validate your choices. You have the power. It's inside you. And the moment you accept that, the game changes. That's the key. That's the first step in mastering the art of not caring. Think about it. How many hours, days, even years have you wasted trying to impress someone who never noticed? How many projects, opportunities, or ideas were abandoned because you feared judgment? That's weakness disguised as care. That's the illusion of connection, and it's robbing you of your potential. Here's the hard truth. Seeking validation is a trap. It's a leash disguised as a reward. Every like, every nod, every pat on the back temporarily satisfies a hunger that should not exist. That hunger is artificial. That hunger is not yours. That hunger is society telling you who you should be, how you should feel, and where your attention belongs. The man who stopped chasing recognition became unstoppable. Think about him. He stopped asking for approval. He stopped explaining himself. He stopped performing for applause. And suddenly the energy he once wasted was free. Free to create, free to act, free to dominate his space. He didn't need to be seen to be valuable, and neither do you. Let's break it down. Stop seeking validation. Here's how. Recognize your patterns. Start noticing the moments you care too much about someone else's opinion. When you post something online, pause. When you voice an idea, ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for them? Awareness is the first step. You have a choice. That's the key. You don't need their applause. Detach emotionally from outcomes. You will always want recognition. That's human. But you must stop letting it control you. Imagine performing perfectly and no one noticing. Can you feel satisfied anyway? That's discipline. That's power. That's mental freedom. Repeat it. I don't need to be seen to be valuable. Say it every day until it's true. Replace approval with internal metrics. Instead of measuring yourself by their gaze, measure by your standards. Did you do your work? Did you show up? Did you improve? That's the score that matters. No one else gets a vote. That's discipline. That's control. That's mastery. Here's something else to understand. When you seek validation, you surrender. You hand your decisions over to others. You allow them to define your worth. And that is the fastest path to mediocrity. Want to be exceptional? Want to move at a higher frequency? Stop giving away your authority. Stop depending on applause. Stop performing for people who won't notice anyway. Now, let's bring it even closer to home. How does this look in daily life? At work, stop asking if your ideas are good enough. Pitch them, execute them, improve them. Let results speak louder than your explanations. You don't need anyone to approve before you act. In relationships, stop bending over backwards to make everyone like you. Your energy is finite. Protect it. Focus on people who add, not subtract. You have a choice. That's the key. You don't need their applause. On social media, stop posting for likes. Stop comparing yourself. Stop measuring your worth in digital approval. Instead, post for clarity. Post for discipline. Post to challenge yourself. You don't need their recognition to validate your action. Here's the secret most people never admit. The world doesn't care if you're great. The world doesn't care if you fail. And that's liberating. It's the greatest gift you can receive. You don't need them. You don't need applause. You don't need validation. You only need your own discipline, your own standards, your own ability to execute. That's power. That's freedom. That's detachment. And yes, it's uncomfortable at first. Your mind will scream. Your ego will protest. You will feel unseen. You will feel rejected. That's normal. That's growth. That's the exact pain you need to pass through to master yourself. Each time you feel that sting, repeat the phrase, "I don't need to be seen to be valuable." Repeat it like a mantra. Repeat it until your soul accepts it as truth. You also need to understand the consequences of not doing this. Seek validation, and you will live in constant anxiety. You will never be content. You will constantly chase illusions. You will be reactive instead of proactive. Your power will leak through every decision you make. Your potential will be diluted. You will exist in shadows instead of commanding your life in light. The opposite is true when you master this skill. When you stop seeking validation, you gain clarity, you gain focus, you gain time, you gain mental space. Your actions become intentional, not performative. Your presence becomes magnetic, not needy. Your mind becomes unshakable because you are no longer fragile under the weight of others' opinions. That's freedom. That's detachment. That's control. Remember, this is not about being cold. It's about being disciplined. It's not about apathy. It's about authority. It's not about isolation. It's about focus. You do not live to please. You live to perform. You live to act. You live to execute. You live to master yourself. That's the core principle. That's the first step in mastering the art of not caring. Now take a deep breath and internalize this. I don't need to be seen to be valuable. Say it again. Say it louder. Say it until your mind cannot deny it. Every time you feel the need for validation creeping in, remind yourself, you have a choice. That's the key. You don't need their permission. Your peace, your focus, your power, they belong to you. Protect them, guard them, own them. You mastered your need for approval. You took the first step. You reclaimed the energy you were giving away. And now, you are ready to build on it. Your foundation is set. Your boundaries are firm. Your mind is free. Next, we'll explore a force even stronger than discipline, the currency of quiet indifference. When you understand it, no one can manipulate your emotions, no one can derail your focus, and no one can touch your peace.
You have a choice. Every day you choose where to place your energy. Most people scatter it. They give it to opinions, drama, gossip, and distractions. They surrender control without even realizing it. That stops today. Indifference is not weakness. Indifference is armor.
It is emotional power wrapped around your mind and your actions. And once you understand it, you will never be manipulated again. Here's the truth most people refuse to admit. The world is not designed to care about you. It's loud, it's chaotic, it demands attention, and everyone is screaming for a slice of your energy. Most people give it freely. They react to everything. They fight over nonsense. They invest their emotions where they shouldn't. And that's why they are exhausted, frustrated, and powerless. You don't have to live like that. You have a choice. That's the key. Indifference is control. Repeat it. Indifference is control. It is a shield. It is a weapon. When you stop reacting to what doesn't serve you, you reclaim energy. When you stop chasing validation, you reclaim focus. When you stop over-investing in opinions, you reclaim power. That's not arrogance. That's not apathy. That's mastery. That's discipline. Let's break it down. Indifference doesn't mean you don't care about the right things. It doesn't mean you walk through life numb. It means you choose what deserves your energy and what doesn't. It means you stop feeding the fires that burn you unnecessarily. And that is exactly what separates average people from unstoppable people. Look at emotionally neutral individuals. They dominate negotiations, relationships, and criticism. They do not react impulsively. They do not collapse under attack. They respond with precision. They act when it matters. They invest energy only where it will multiply. And the results? Respect, influence, and power. Here's how you build the silent power of indifference. Identify your emotional drains. Who or what is pulling you into unnecessary drama? Who is trying to provoke a reaction? Who wants a piece of your peace? Name them, acknowledge them, and then detach. You have a choice. That's the key. You don't need to respond to every text, every comment, every insult. Protect your energy. Practice neutrality in conflict. When someone criticizes you, you have two options: react or observe. Observe. Notice the words. Notice the tone. Then decide, do these words deserve my attention? Most of the time, the answer is no. Repetition is your ally. Indifference is control. Indifference is control. Say it until it becomes instinct. Control your visibility. You don't have to share every thought. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to justify your life. Silence is a weapon. Silence protects. Silence multiplies your influence. When you are selective with your voice, people pay attention when you speak. That's discipline. That's power. Let me make this crystal clear. Indifference is not coldness. It is not apathy. It is not disengagement from life. It is selective engagement. It is choosing where to act, where to react, and where to conserve energy. Every time you overreact, you lose control. Every time you care too much, you surrender. Every time you chase approval, you weaken. But when you apply indifference strategically, you become untouchable. That's the truth. That's your advantage. Here's a simple exercise. Tomorrow, someone will test you. Someone will provoke. Someone will try to pull you into a fight, a debate, or a drama that doesn't serve you. And when they do, practice this. Pause. Breathe. Respond with neutral energy. Observe the situation without surrendering your mind. You have a choice. That's the key. Indifference is not weakness. Indifference is control. Now let's look at another real-world scenario. Picture a negotiation. Two people want something. One reacts emotionally. The other remains calm, neutral, indifferent. Who wins? The one who doesn't give away energy. The one who doesn't show attachment. The one who is measured, controlled, and unemotional. That's the silent power at work. That's what you are cultivating. That's what your mind will start to crave. Discipline is contagious, and indifference is the language it speaks. You will face resistance. People will label you cold, detached, or uncaring. Ignore them. That's part of the process. You are not uncaring. You are self-caring. You are protecting your mind. You are defending your peace. You are amplifying your focus. You don't need their understanding. You don't need their approval. You don't need their agreement. That's the key. You have a choice. Indifference is control. Repetition builds mastery. So hear this again. Indifference is control. Indifference is control. Indifference is control. Memorize it, embed it, live it. Whenever you feel triggered, whenever your emotions rise, whenever someone tests you, repeat the phrase and watch your power return. Let's talk about application in daily life. At work, do not react to petty criticism. Observe, evaluate, and choose where to invest your energy. In relationships, do not allow emotional manipulation to dictate your peace. Stay calm, stay grounded, stay disciplined. In social situations, do not allow the need for attention to control your behavior. Step back, watch, respond selectively. That is mastery. That is indifference in action. Here's the final truth. Life is loud, chaotic, and full of distractions. Most people drown in it. Most people give away their power without realizing. But you are learning to swim above the noise. You are learning to act with precision, purpose, and control. You are learning the silent power of indifference. You are becoming untouchable. You are becoming unstoppable. You are reclaiming your energy. That's discipline. That's freedom. That's emotional mastery. Now internalize this. Every reaction you skip is energy you gain. Every opinion you ignore is power reclaimed. Every moment you refuse to surrender your mind is another victory. You have a choice. That's the key. Indifference is not weakness. Indifference is control. You are learning it. You are practicing it. And you are becoming unshakable. You mastered your reaction. You reclaimed your energy. You built armor around your mind. And now we move forward to the next essential skill, cutting through emotional noise and discovering what deserves your focus.
You have a choice. Every day, you decide what consumes your mind. Most people carry emotional clutter. They carry unnecessary reactions, overthinking, drama, gossip, the little things that should never have space in their minds. And it eats away at their focus. It weakens their energy. It clouds their judgment. You don't have to live like that. You have a choice. That's the key. Emotional minimalism is not about feeling nothing. It's about feeling what matters.
It's about stripping away noise, distraction, and emotional waste until your mind is sharp, your emotions are precise, and your actions are deliberate. Less reaction, more direction. Repeat it. Less reaction, more direction. That is your mantra for this chapter. Let's break it down. Most people respond to every stimulus like a child. Someone snaps at them, they snap back. Someone criticizes them, they explode. Someone praises them, they get inflated. Every ping, every text, every opinion triggers them. And that's why their energy leaks. That's why their focus is fractured. That's why their peace is shattered. You don't have to live like that. You have a choice. That's the key. Less reaction, more direction. Here's how emotional clutter manifests in real life. Overthinking. You spend hours analyzing past mistakes. You replay conversations. You question every decision. And what does it give you? Nothing. It gives you stress, anxiety, paralysis. You have a choice. Stop it. That's the key. Less reaction, more direction. Focus on what you can control. Act, move, execute. Unnecessary drama. People create chaos and invite you in. They gossip, they complain, they provoke. And most people jump in, defending, reacting, explaining. Don't. You have a choice. Step back. Observe. Protect your energy. That's the key. Less reaction, more direction. Emotional overinvestment. You care too much about things outside your control. Opinions, criticism, social status, recognition. Every time you let it touch you, you lose focus, you waste energy, you weaken your mind. You have a choice. Don't care unnecessarily. That's the key. Less reaction, more direction. Let me give you an example. Picture a high-level professional negotiating a deal. Offers are thrown, insults are dropped, pressure is applied. Most people react emotionally. They panic, argue, or chase approval. That's emotional clutter. But the master, the disciplined individual, calm, neutral, unshakable. They focus on facts. They strip away the noise. They act with precision. They win not because they are louder, but because their mind is clear. Less reaction, more direction. That's the principle in action. So, how do you practice emotional minimalism? Start here. Audit your mental space. Ask yourself, what occupies my thoughts unnecessarily? What situations drain me without return? What conversations leave me anxious or reactive? Name them, identify them, recognize the clutter. You have a choice. That's the key. Filter what deserves a reaction. Not everything is worth your emotional energy. Decide in advance what gets a response and what doesn't. Your peace is non-negotiable. Your focus is sacred. Protect them. Repeat. Less reaction, more direction. Less reaction, more direction. Simplify emotional input. Reduce exposure to triggers. Limit social media noise. Avoid gossip. Step away from toxic environments. Surround yourself with calm, focused, disciplined people. Your environment shapes your mind. You have a choice. That's the key. Pause before responding. Every emotional reaction is an energy leak. When provoked, pause, breathe, assess, decide. Is this worth my energy? Often, the answer is no. The moment you pause, you regain control. That's discipline. That's emotional minimalism. That's freedom. Let's be clear. Emotional minimalism is not weakness. It is strength. It is precision. It is self-control.
It is the difference between someone who reacts to life and someone who directs life. Less reaction, more direction. This is your power. This is your advantage. Another real-world application: relationships. Most people get caught in cycles of over-explaining, defending, or reacting to minor slights. Emotional minimalism teaches you to step back, observe, respond selectively, protect your energy. Do not waste emotion on things that do not matter. Less reaction, more direction. Every time you practice this, your mind sharpens, your focus strengthens, your discipline grows. Even in personal ambition, emotional clutter is a silent killer. Thoughts like, did they like me? Am I doing enough? What if I fail? They destroy execution. The minimalist mind ignores the noise. It focuses on results. It takes action. It iterates. It executes. Less reaction, more direction. You have a choice. That's the key. And yes, this will be uncomfortable. Old habits resist. Your ego screams. Your impulses fight against restraint. That's normal. That's growth. That's exactly why most people never master this skill. But you're listening. You're learning. You're practicing. Every pause, every selective response, every moment you protect your mind is a victory. Less reaction, more direction. Repeat it, live it, own it. Remember, life rewards clarity. Life rewards focus. Life rewards those who act with calm precision, not emotional chaos. Every reaction you avoid, every unnecessary emotion you eliminate, every moment you reclaim your energy is a step toward mastery. Less reaction, more direction. That's your mantra. That's your discipline. That's your freedom. You are learning to strip away noise. You are learning to focus on what matters. You are learning emotional minimalism. And with it comes power. Power over your mind, power over your energy, power over your life. You have a choice. That's the key. Less reaction, more direction. Protect your mental space, protect your focus, protect your power. You mastered your reactions, you reclaimed your energy, you simplified your mind. Now, you are ready to ascend to the next level, controlling your actions, words, and presence through the most powerful, often overlooked weapon, your silence.
You have a choice. Every time you open your mouth unnecessarily, you make a decision. Give away power or keep it. Most people over-explain. They justify themselves. They over-apologize. They talk when they should act. And every word costs them control. Every explanation chips away at their authority. Every justification gives someone else power over their peace. That stops today. You have a choice. That's the key. Understand this. Every time you explain, you surrender. Every time you justify, you invite judgment. Every time you overtalk, you weaken your presence. Strong people do not explain. They act. They execute. They move. Silence is their weapon. Silence is their armor. Silence commands attention without needing applause. Repetition phrase. They don't need to understand. You just need to move. Say it, repeat it, embed it into your behavior. That's the discipline you are building. Let's get real. How many times have you tried to clarify yourself only to be misinterpreted? How many hours wasted explaining, defending, apologizing, and rationalizing decisions that didn't even matter? That's emotional leakage. That's mental drain. That's wasted energy. You don't need their understanding. You don't need their approval. You have a choice. That's the key. They don't need to understand. You just need to move. Here's the hard truth. Explanation is often a mask for insecurity. When you over-explain, you reveal doubt. You reveal fear. You reveal dependence on external validation. And that fear is visible to everyone around you. The strong don't hide behind words. They act. They move. They respond selectively. And that is magnetic. That is authority. That is power. Let's break it down with real-world examples. At work, the leader who responds to criticism with action instead of argument dominates. They don't waste time proving themselves. They don't defend their vision endlessly. They act, deliver results, and let their performance speak. Everyone notices. Everyone respects them. Everyone follows them. They don't need to explain. They just move. In relationships, over-explaining creates dependence. It creates drama. It invites misinterpretation. Instead, the disciplined individual communicates clearly and succinctly, then allows actions to reinforce their intentions. They don't justify. They don't beg. They don't over-talk. They simply act. They don't need understanding. They just need to move. Here's how to practice it. Pause before you speak. Not every question needs an answer. Not every opinion needs a response. Not every attack deserves clarification. Silence is stronger than reaction. You have a choice. That's the key. Less explanation, more execution. Simplify your communication. Speak only when it advances your purpose. Avoid unnecessary details. Avoid excessive justification. Be clear, concise, and purposeful. Every word should carry weight. Every word should matter. They don't need to understand. You just need to move. Use action as proof. People will question, criticize, and doubt. That's normal. Your proof is not in your explanations. It is in your results. Execute, deliver, dominate quietly. Let actions validate what words cannot. Less talk, more movement. That's discipline. That's authority. That's freedom. Let's emphasize this again. It's not about being rude. It's not about being detached in a harmful way. It's about being disciplined. It's about controlling the narrative of your energy and attention. It's about acting with authority, not reacting with insecurity. Repetition phrase. They don't need to understand. You just need to move. This is your mantra. This is your mental framework. This is the difference between a follower and a leader. Now let's consider the consequences of failing this discipline. The person who constantly explains themselves is always tired, always anxious, always reactive. They waste energy on people that don't matter. They give control of their emotions away. They dilute their power. They confuse clarity with justification. And most importantly, they slow their own progress. You don't have to be like that. You have a choice. That's the key. Conversely, the person who masters this skill becomes magnetic. People notice them. People respect them. People follow them without question. Their words carry weight. Their silence amplifies their authority. Their actions speak louder than any explanation ever could. They don't need to justify. They don't need to defend. They don't need anyone to understand. They just move.
Here's a simple exercise for you. The next time someone challenges you, criticizes you, or questions your choices, do not respond immediately. Pause. Assess. Choose if your response is necessary. Often, the best response is none. Move forward. Let your actions do the talking. Repeat the phrase mentally. They don't need to understand. I just need to move. Do it again. Do it consistently. Build the habit. That is transformation. That is discipline. That is emotional mastery. Remember, power is in your control over attention. Your energy is your currency. Every word you over-explain is spent carelessly. Every silence you preserve is a deposit in your authority account. You have a choice. That's the key. They don't need to understand. You just need to move. You mastered the need to explain yourself. You reclaimed your power. You learned that silence can be louder than words. You are now acting with intention. You are moving with precision. You are untouchable in your focus. And now we take this discipline even further, detaching from outcomes so your peace is never compromised.
You have a choice. Every day, you decide where your focus goes. Most people obsess over results. They fixate on outcomes. They tie their emotions, their peace, their self-worth to what happens next. And that is a trap. A trap that leaves you anxious, distracted, reactive. You don't have to live like that. You have a choice. That's the key. Detachment doesn't mean apathy. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. Detachment means you maintain peace no matter what happens. It means doing your work with discipline and focus without being enslaved by the result. Repeat it. Do the work, release the outcome. That is your mantra. That is your mental framework. That is your freedom. Think about elite athletes. They train relentlessly. They prepare for hours, days, months. But during competition, they cannot control the outcome. They cannot control the score, the judges, the opponents. If they obsessed over what might happen, they would fail. Instead, they detach. They focus on execution. They focus on what they can control. They do the work. They release the outcome. And the results follow naturally. That's discipline. That's power. That's mental mastery. Now, consider entrepreneurs. They launch products. They pitch ideas. They invest money, time, and energy. And often, the market does not respond as expected. Most people panic. They obsess. They despair. They waste energy worrying about things outside their control. But the disciplined entrepreneur, they focus on the process. They perfect the product. They take action. They detach from the result. They do the work. They release the outcome. And the results follow naturally. That's discipline. That's power. That's mental mastery. Now consider entrepreneurs. They launch products. They pitch ideas. They invest money, time, and energy. And often, the market does not respond as expected. Most people panic. They obsess. They despair. They waste energy worrying about things outside their control. But the disciplined entrepreneur, they focus on the process. They perfect the product. They take action. They detach from the result. They do the work. They release the outcome. And the results follow naturally. That's discipline. That's power. That's mental mastery. Now, let's break this down into actionable steps. Focus only on what you can control: your actions, your effort, your decisions, your discipline. The rest is external. Opinions, reactions, results, circumstances. You cannot control them. Stop trying. Stop stressing. You have a choice. That's the key. Do the work, release the outcome. Separate identity from results. Your worth is not tied to success or failure. If you win, you are not better. If you lose, you are not worse. Results are external. Your discipline, focus, and execution are internal. That is what matters. Repeat, do the work, release the outcome. Internalize it, live it, own it. Practice the 3-day detachment. When you complete a project, a task, or a presentation, set it aside for 3 days. Do not obsess over feedback. Do not overthink results. Simply observe. By the 3rd day, you see clearly what worked, what didn't, and what can be improved without emotional interference. Less anxiety, more clarity. Less reaction, more direction. That's discipline. That's control. Use detachment as energy multiplication. Every time you obsess over outcomes, you drain mental energy. Every worry, every what if, every overthinking session is wasted power. Detachment preserves energy. Detachment channels focus. Detachment allows you to execute at your highest level. Less reaction, more direction. You have a choice. That's the key. Let's get practical. Imagine you're pitching an idea. You obsess over whether people will approve. You rehearse every reaction. You imagine every possible critique. That is emotional leakage. That is wasted energy. Instead, detach. Focus on clarity. Focus on preparation. Focus on delivering your message with precision. After that, release the outcome. The results are not yours to control. Your power lies in execution. That's discipline. That's freedom. That's mastery. Detachment also builds resilience. When you stop obsessing over outcomes, failure no longer scares you. Criticism no longer shakes you. Setbacks do not define you. You move forward with calm confidence because you understand results are external, effort is internal, and your mind is your domain. You have a choice. That's the key. Do the work, release the outcome. Here's another exercise. Pick one task today, a project, an email, a presentation, anything. Give it your full focus and effort. Do not worry about the result. Detach. Execute perfectly. Observe the outcome without judgment. Repeat this exercise daily. Repeat the phrase mentally. Do the work. Release the outcome. Watch your stress decrease. Watch your efficiency increase. Watch your power grow. That's transformation. That's discipline. That's emotional mastery. Now internalize this. Every time you obsess over what is outside your control, you weaken yourself. Every time you detach, you strengthen yourself. Every time you focus on your effort instead of the result, you reclaim your power. You have a choice. That's the key. Do the work, release the outcome. This is the principle that elite performers, successful entrepreneurs, and unstoppable individuals live by. And now you will too. You mastered the need to control outcomes. You reclaimed your energy. You stabilized your emotions. You strengthened your discipline. Now you are free to execute at your highest level without unnecessary worry or stress. And next, we take this mastery to the micro level, controlling your reactions, building daily mental toughness, and rehearsing discipline in every decision.
You have a choice.
Every day presents dozens of moments where your emotions are tested. People will provoke you. Situations will frustrate you. Obstacles will appear. Most people react instantly. They lash out. They panic. They complain. They surrender their power without even realizing it. That stops today. You have a choice. That's the key. Control isn't built once. It isn't a one-time decision. Control is earned moment by moment through daily practice. It's built through awareness, discipline, and repetition. And it begins with a simple principle. Respond, don't react. That's the core. That's your mantra. Repetition phrase, pause, breathe, dominate. Say it, live it, make it instinct. Here's the truth. Every reaction is a surrender. Every uncontrolled emotional outburst is lost power. And every instant display of frustration or anger is energy you gave away. And every time you practice restraint, every time you pause before responding, you reclaim control. You have a choice. That's the key. Pause, breathe, dominate. Let me introduce you to the 3-second rule. It's simple. Every time you feel triggered, insulted, criticized, stressed, frustrated, you take 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Not to overthink, not to suppress, but to pause, to breathe, to choose. During those 3 seconds, you decide whether your response serves your power or drains it. Most people skip the pause. Most people react instantly, and that's why they are always off balance, always reactive, always exhausted. You have a choice. That's the key. Pause, breathe, dominate. Let's break this down further. Awareness before action. Notice the trigger. Identify the emotion rising in your chest. Label it. This is frustration. This is irritation. This is provocation. Awareness creates distance. Distance creates control. Most people react unconsciously. You will act consciously. You have a choice. That's the key. Pause, breathe, dominate. Breathe to reset. The breath is the ultimate weapon in emotional control. Deep, deliberate inhalation. Hold it. Exhale slowly. Each breath reduces tension. Each breath restores focus. Each breath gives you the pause you need to respond with strategy rather than instinct. Less reaction, more direction. Pause, breathe, dominate. Decide your response. After awareness and breath, choose. Your response is your power. Will it escalate the situation or will it neutralize it? Will it serve your goal or feed the drama? Will it protect your peace or surrender it? The choice is yours. You have a choice. That's the key. Pause, breathe, dominate. Let's make this tangible with an exercise. Pick a daily moment where you feel reactive. Before responding, count silently to 3. Take a deep breath. Decide your response consciously, not emotionally. Act. Observe. Reflect. Repeat daily. Do this consistently, and emotional control becomes a habit. It becomes instinct. It becomes your default mode. Less chaos, more clarity. Less drama, more power. That is transformation. That is discipline. That is mastery. Remember, it's not about suppressing emotions. It's not about pretending to be calm. It's about channeling emotion into action rather than letting emotion dictate your reaction.
It's about building an internal firewall between impulse and action. And that firewall is built one pause at a time, one breath at a time, one conscious choice at a time. You have a choice. That's the key. Pause, breathe, dominate. Here's another real-world insight. Elite athletes do this naturally. Under pressure, they pause, they breathe, they execute with precision. They do not allow the chaos of the moment to control their decisions. Their pause is preparation, their breath is focus, their domination is the result of disciplined emotional rehearsal, and that is exactly what you are cultivating. You have a choice. That's the key. Pause, breathe, dominate. It's not easy. Old habits resist. The instinct to react is strong. Impulses scream. The mind wants immediate gratification. That's normal. That's why most people never master emotional control. But you are different. You are practicing. You are training. You are rehearsing discipline in every moment. You are turning awareness into instinct. You are turning pause into power. You are turning every reaction into an opportunity for domination. And remember, this is cumulative. Every day you practice, every trigger you navigate successfully, every pause you take before responding, you are building unshakable emotional fortitude. Less reaction, more direction, more control, more freedom. You have a choice. That's the key. Pause, breathe, dominate. Now internalize this. Emotional control is not a trait you are born with. It is a skill. It is a discipline. It is a daily rehearsal. It is the difference between those who are ruled by circumstances and those who rule themselves. Every trigger is a test. Every breath is a training moment. Every pause is a declaration of power. You have a choice. That's the key. Pause, breathe, dominate. You mastered the concept of daily emotional rehearsal. You reclaimed your mental control. You strengthened your pause. You sharpened your discipline. And now you are ready for the next level, transforming mental toughness into unstoppable resilience, so no external force can dictate your energy or focus.
You have a choice. Every word you speak either increases your influence or diminishes it. Most people react instantly. They argue, they justify, they explain, they fill every pause with unnecessary noise, and in doing so, they weaken their authority. They drain their energy. They dilute their presence. That stops today. You have a choice. That's the key. Silence speaks louder than defense. Say it, internalize it, live it. This is your tool. This is your discipline. Consider history's greatest leaders, thinkers, and strategists. They didn't command attention with constant speech. They spoke when it mattered. They acted decisively. They paused with intention. Their silence created weight. Their restraint built respect. Their calm amplified every word. That is the blueprint. That is your path. You have a choice. That's the key. Silence speaks louder than defense. Here's the truth. The more someone reacts, the more they give power away. Over-explaining is a surrender disguised as communication. Every argument you engage in gives away energy you cannot afford to lose. Discipline means acting with intention, not reaction. Restraint is your weapon. Less talk, more presence. Silence speaks louder than defense. Let's break it down with real-world examples. In business, the executive who pauses before responding to criticism commands attention. They let results speak. They don't waste energy on defensiveness. Competitors and colleagues are left guessing. Respect is automatic. Silence speaks louder than defense. In personal relationships, a friend or partner challenges or provokes you. Most respond emotionally, escalating tension. The disciplined individual pauses, listens, and acts only when necessary. The calm presence communicates more than words ever could. Silence speaks louder than defense. In social environments, gossip, rumors, and online drama are constant. Most feel compelled to correct or explain themselves. Strategic silence protects mental energy and reinforces authority. Those who act only when it matters dominate influence. Silence speaks louder than defense. Here's how to practice it. Observe before speaking. Not every comment needs a response. Not every opinion requires justification. Pause. Evaluate. Decide if your words serve your goals. You have a choice. That's the key. Silence speaks louder than defense. Master strategic pauses. In conversation or conflict, allow moments of silence. Let others fill the space. Silence creates reflection. Silence asserts presence. Pause. Breathe. Dominate silently. Repeat. Silence speaks louder than defense. Replace defense with action. Stop trying to justify yourself. Stop reacting impulsively. Focus on results and execution. Let your work speak. Let your actions define your authority. Silence speaks louder than defense. Here's a practical exercise. Pick one interaction this week where you usually react immediately. A message, a critique, a provocation. Do not respond instantly. Pause. Reflect. Decide whether your response moves you closer to your goal. Often, silence is more powerful than any explanation. Repeat mentally. Silence speaks louder than defense. Make it instinctive. Remember, it's not about avoiding conflict. It's about selective engagement. It's about choosing when words serve purpose and when restraint multiplies influence. Less reaction, more direction. Less noise, more impact. You have a choice. That's the key. Silence speaks louder than defense. Insight. Quiet leaders and thinkers dominate not by volume but by restraint. Their silence compels attention. Their calm amplifies every word. Their strategic pauses create respect. Your focus and energy remain untouched. Influence grows. Power consolidates. Silence speaks louder than defense. Let's internalize this. Every interaction is an opportunity to wield silence. Each conversation is a choice. Each pause strengthens your presence. Discipline is choosing clarity over chaos. Authority comes from measured words, not constant speech. Repeat the mantra. Silence speaks louder than defense. Apply this practically. Identify moments when you normally react unnecessarily. Step back. Observe. Decide if your engagement is essential. Respond minimally, if at all. Let your calm presence communicate more than any words could. Daily practice of silence builds mental toughness, focus, and emotional control. It preserves energy, protects your peace, and amplifies your influence. Less reaction equals more power retained. Less chaos absorbed equals more clarity gained. Every pause is practice. Every restraint is a lesson in discipline. Silence speaks louder than defense. Internalize this fully. Authority is earned through measured restraint. Respect is cultivated through calm presence. Influence is multiplied through action, not explanation. Every word is carefully chosen. Every pause is deliberate. Every moment of silence is a reinforcement of your discipline. Repetition phrase. Silence speaks louder than defense. Embed it, practice it, own it. You mastered pause. You reclaimed control over reactions. You strengthened your influence through restraint. Your presence is undeniable. Your energy is protected. Your authority is amplified. And now you are prepared for the next layer of mastery, protecting your peace against emotional leeches and draining connections.
You have a choice. Every word you speak either amplifies your presence or diminishes it. Most people fill the air with noise. They explain, they justify, they argue, they react to every comment, every criticism, every impulse. And in doing so, they weaken their influence. They exhaust their energy. They dilute their authority. That stops today. You have a choice. That's the key. Silence isn't emptiness. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is strategy. It is the ultimate tool of control. It disarms chaos. It multiplies your presence. It forces people to lean in. It compels attention. Repetition phrase. Silence speaks louder than defense. Say it. Live it. Make it instinct. That is the discipline you are building. Think about history's great leaders. They did not shout for attention. They did not fill every space with words. They spoke when it mattered. They acted decisively. And their silence made every word they uttered powerful. Every pause commanded respect. Every absence of unnecessary explanation amplified their authority. That is the power you are cultivating. You have a choice. That's the key. Silence speaks louder than defense. Here's the truth. The louder someone reacts, the weaker they appear. The more words they spill, the more they give away control. Over-talking is a mask for insecurity. It is a surrender disguised as expression. The disciplined individual knows this. They respond only when necessary. They speak with intention. They use silence as a shield, a lever, and a weapon. Silence multiplies influence. Silence protects energy. Silence amplifies power. Let's break this down with real-world examples. In business, the quiet executive doesn't defend their vision at every criticism. They act. They deliver results. They let performance speak. Colleagues and competitors are left guessing. Their restraint commands respect. Silence speaks louder than defense. Less talk, more action. That's the principle. In personal life, a family member or friend challenges you, questions you, or provokes you. Most people react immediately. They argue, they justify, they escalate. The disciplined individual pauses. They choose silence.
They let actions convey their intentions. No wasted energy, maximum impact. Silence speaks louder than defense. In social environments, gossip, rumors, and opinions swirl constantly. Most people feel compelled to respond. They correct, they explain, they justify, they argue. All wasted energy. The disciplined individual observes, speaks minimally, acts strategically. Their silence leaves a stronger impression than 1,000 words could. Silence speaks louder than defense. Here's how to practice it. Observe before speaking. Not every comment requires a response. Not every criticism demands an explanation. Pause. Evaluate. Decide if your words serve your authority and goals. You have a choice. That's the key. Silence speaks louder than defense. Strategic pauses. When in conversation or conflict, allow moments of silence. Let the other person fill the space. Silence forces attention. Silence forces reflection. Silence establishes presence. Pause, breathe, dominate silently. Repeat, silence speaks louder than defense. Replace defense with action. Stop trying to justify yourself. Stop trying to explain motives. Stop reacting to every opinion. Instead, act. Deliver results. Let your accomplishments, decisions, and discipline convey your message. Actions speak. Words support. Silence dominates. Silence speaks louder than defense. Let's apply this concept practically. Pick a scenario this week where you would normally feel compelled to respond. A critical email, a provocative comment, a disagreement. Do not reply immediately. Pause. Observe. Decide if your response advances your purpose. Often, the best choice is silence. Let your actions, your results, and your composure speak for you. Repeat mentally, silence speaks louder than defense. Make it your mantra. Remember, it's not about avoiding confrontation. It's not about being passive. It's about selective engagement. It's about choosing when words serve your strategy and when silence strengthens it. Less reaction, more direction. Less noise, more influence. You have a choice. That's the key. Silence speaks louder than defense. Here's a real-world insight. Leaders who command respect without dominating conversations do so because they understand the value of quiet. Their restraint makes people lean in. Their silence makes words carry weight. Their focus and energy are untouched by needless arguments. And you can apply the same principle starting today. You have a choice. That's the key. Silence speaks louder than defense. The disciplined person understands. Authority is earned through restraint. Respect is cultivated through presence, not volume. Influence is multiplied through action, not justification. Every word is carefully chosen. Every pause is intentional. Every silence is deliberate. Repetition phrase, silence speaks louder than defense. Embed it. Practice it. Own it. This chapter is not just theory. It is practice. Daily identify moments where silence would serve you better than words. Start with small interactions, emails, texts, meetings, conversations. Gradually, your instinct for strategic silence will become second nature. Your influence will grow, your energy will be preserved, your discipline will strengthen. Silence speaks louder than defense. You mastered restraint. You reclaimed power through silence. You amplified presence through discipline. You learned that influence isn't in reaction, it's in measured response. And now you are ready to take the final step, combining all your emotional control, detachment, and silence into unstoppable mental toughness.
You have a choice. Every person you interact with either adds energy or takes it. Some people feed on your reactions. They thrive on drama, chaos, and emotional disturbance. Most of us hand them that power without even realizing it. That stops today. You have a choice. That's the key. Your emotional energy is precious. It is the foundation of focus, discipline, and control. Every time you react to an emotional leech, you give away your oxygen. Every argument, every explanation, every defensive response is energy drained. You don't need permission to protect your peace. Repetition phrase: protect your peace like it's oxygen. Say it. Internalize it. Live it. This is your discipline. Let's be clear. Not everyone deserves access to your emotional world. Some people are toxic. Some people are manipulative. Some people are addicted to your reactions. And it doesn't matter if they are family, colleagues, friends, or acquaintances. Their ability to provoke you does not give them a right to drain you. You have a choice. That's the key. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. Here's the first step. Identify emotional leeches. Notice who consistently triggers you, who thrives on conflict, who pushes buttons, tests boundaries, or thrives on your defensiveness. These are not harmless interactions. These are drains. These are distractions. These are emotional vampires. You have a choice. That's the key. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. Next, implement calm detachment. Detachment does not mean coldness. It does not mean aggression. It means neutralizing their impact on you. Observe. Don't react instantly. Pause. Breathe. Respond minimally, if at all. Your energy is for your growth, not their chaos. Less reaction, more direction. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. Here's a practical breakdown. Step 1. Recognize the pattern. Emotional leeches always operate the same way. They provoke, manipulate, or demand attention to siphon energy. Your first task is to notice it consistently. Awareness creates distance. Distance creates control. You have a choice. That's the key. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. Step 2. Establish limits. Once identified, set boundaries. Limit time, conversation, or emotional availability with those who drain you. Boundaries are not punishment. They are protection. They are discipline. They preserve your energy. Less exposure, more control. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. Step 3. Detach emotionally. When the provocation begins, remain calm. Observe without judgment. Respond only when necessary. Let the leech exhaust their own energy while you maintain focus. The stronger you remain internally, the more powerless they become. Pause. Breathe. Dominate silently. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. Let's make this real with examples. In work, a colleague constantly undermines your confidence. They gossip, they provoke, they push emotional buttons. Most people argue, explain, or get defensive. The disciplined person pauses, observes, sets boundaries, delivers work without giving energy to the provocation. Less reaction, more direction. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. In personal life, a friend repeatedly brings drama, manipulates situations, or demands validation. Most people react emotionally, creating stress and exhaustion. You do not need to feed that pattern. Calmly detach, respond selectively, maintain boundaries. Your peace is non-negotiable. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. In social circles, online interactions, group chats, and social media can be emotional leeches. Arguments, negativity, and constant provocation drain focus. Limit engagement. Step back. Observe without reacting. Preserve mental energy. Silence is powerful. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. Here's a simple exercise. Make a list of the top 3 people who consistently drain you. Note the behaviors that trigger you and how you usually react. Plan your response strategy. Pause, observe, and limit engagement. Apply boundaries today. Watch your energy grow. Less reaction, more direction. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. Remember, protecting your peace is not selfish, it is strategic. It is essential to maintaining mental toughness, emotional control, and quiet discipline. Every reaction you avoid, every boundary you enforce, every calm pause you take strengthens your authority over yourself. You have a choice. That's the key. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. Another crucial point. Emotional leeches are not always malicious. Some act unconsciously. Some thrive on habitual drama. But the outcome is the same. Your energy is siphoned. Your focus is compromised. And your discipline is weakened. Awareness and detachment are the only antidotes. Pause. Breathe. Decide. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. Let's reinforce this principle. Less energy given equals more power retained. Less drama engaged equals more clarity gained. Less chaos absorbed equals more influence accumulated. Discipline is choosing to act only when necessary. Silence, restraint, and detachment are your weapons. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. Here's the final practical tip. Practice selective presence. In conversations, meetings, and social interactions, consciously decide where your energy goes. Contribute to growth, focus, and constructive outcomes. Withdraw from needless drama. Neutralize provocations with calm. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. Internalize this. Every interaction is a choice. Every engagement is a decision. Every reaction is a trade of your energy. Stop trading power for approval. Stop feeding emotional leeches. Stop reacting when discipline demands silence. You have a choice. That's the key. Protect your peace like it's oxygen. You mastered the identification of energy drains. You reclaimed control through calm detachment. You strengthened your boundaries. You preserved your focus. And now, you are ready to combine all these lessons, emotional control, detachment, silence, and peace, to become unstoppable in your discipline, influence, and mental toughness.
You have a choice. Every day, every moment, every interaction presents a decision. Will you be controlled by circumstances, by emotions, by other people? Or will you rise above, calm, clear, and focused? Most people live in reaction. They surrender power. They give away focus. They are tossed by every opinion, every setback, every drama. That stops today. You have a choice. That's the key. Repetition phrase: unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. Let's be clear. Becoming unstoppable does not mean you are cold. It does not mean you are detached from life. It means you are unshakable. It means calm in chaos, clarity in confusion, discipline in distraction. It means emotional mastery, mental toughness, and strategic detachment converging into a single, unstoppable force. You have a choice. That's the key. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. Think about it. The truly successful, the truly disciplined, the elite performers across business, sports, and life, they are not constantly reacting. They are not slaves to opinion, emotion, or circumstance. They are focused. They are present. They are intentional. They execute. And because they are calm and detached, their influence is multiplied, their results amplified, and their power undeniable. That is your blueprint. That is your path. Here's the first principle. Detachment amplifies focus. When you stop obsessing over outcomes, results, or other people's opinions, your mind is clear. Energy is preserved. Decisions are sharper. Execution is cleaner. You have a choice. That's the key. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. The second principle, detachment multiplies presence. When you are calm, measured, and disciplined, people notice. Your words carry weight. Your actions command attention. Your authority is undeniable. Noise fades away. Drama loses its power. Silence becomes your ally. Influence grows exponentially. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. The third principle, detachment strengthens personal power. Your power does not come from control over others. It comes from control over yourself. Your reactions, your focus, your energy. These are yours to manage. When you reclaim them, nothing can shake you. You become the calm in the storm, the eye of the hurricane, the unshakable presence that drives action and inspires respect. You have a choice. That's the key. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. Let's break it down into practical, actionable steps. Daily emotional rehearsal. Every trigger, every setback, every criticism is a chance to practice detachment. Pause, breathe, respond with clarity, not reaction. Observe the chaos without surrendering your energy. Every pause strengthens your mind. Every breath builds your discipline. Unbothered,
unmoved, unstoppable. Boundary enforcement. Identify energy drains, emotional leeches, and distractions. Limit exposure. Protect focus. Do not allow unnecessary drama to invade your peace. Detachment does not mean avoidance. It means choosing wisely where your energy goes. Protect your mental space. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. Outcome neutrality. Stop tying self-worth to results. Stop obsessing over what others think. Stop feeding anxiety with imagined scenarios. Do the work. Focus on execution. Let outcomes unfold naturally. Detachment from results is freedom. Detachment from drama is power. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. Action over words. Speak when it adds value. Act when it matters. Avoid over-explaining, justifying, or defending unnecessarily. Every moment you spend reacting is energy given away. Preserve your strength. Use action to assert influence. Less talk, more impact. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. Here's how this plays out in the real world. In business, a project fails, a partner criticizes, a market shifts unexpectedly. Most panic, most react. You pause, you breathe, you analyze, you act with precision. You detach from the noise. Your execution becomes unstoppable. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. In personal life, someone insults, provokes, or challenges you. Most react emotionally, escalating tension and wasting energy. You detach, you observe, you respond strategically or remain silent. Your peace remains intact. Influence grows. Authority is preserved. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. In daily interactions, social media, group chats, or public commentary attempt to manipulate your attention. Most engage, argue, and react. You disengage selectively. You focus on priorities. You preserve energy. Your mind remains clear. Your power is intact. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progressive mastery. Each moment you choose discipline over reaction. Each pause you take instead of impulsively responding. Each time you act from clarity instead of chaos, you build an unshakable mind. Every choice compounds. Every decision strengthens. Every action reinforces your personal power. You have a choice. That's the key. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. Let's solidify this with a mental exercise. Each morning, identify your priorities and focus areas. Visualize potential triggers or stressors for the day. Mentally rehearse detachment, calm response, controlled action, minimal reaction. Throughout the day, pause before reacting, breathe, and respond from clarity. Reflect each evening on moments where you maintained detachment and where you surrendered energy. Plan adjustments for tomorrow. This is how mental toughness, emotional mastery, and quiet discipline merge into unstoppable power. You are no longer ruled by chaos, by criticism, or by the opinions of others. You act from clarity, respond from focus, and move with purpose. Every step forward is executed with calm confidence. You have a choice. That's the key. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. Internalize this principle. Nothing outside of you can control your mind unless you allow it. Your reactions, your energy, your focus, these are sacred. Protect them, train them, strengthen them. Discipline your mind daily. Detach strategically. Act decisively. Influence exponentially. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. You mastered emotional control, daily rehearsal, silence, and protective detachment. You reclaimed your energy. You amplified your influence. You built calm in chaos, clarity in confusion, and unwavering presence in distraction. You are unshakable. You are unstoppable. This is your mental blueprint, your daily practice, your path to transformation. Apply it consistently, reinforce it endlessly, live it relentlessly. Your mind is your domain. Your focus is your power. Your detachment is your armor. You have a choice. That's the key. Unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable. Closing. This is not the end. It is the beginning of mastery. You will face triggers, chaos, and challenge, but now you are armed, you are disciplined, you are calm, you are focused, you are in control, and nothing, no drama, no criticism, no external circumstance can shake you. You have a choice. That's the key. Remember, unbothered, unmoved, unstoppable.
You've been programmed to care too much about people, opinions, and outcomes that don't matter. You've drained your power trying to please, prove, and perform. But now you understand. Peace is the real flex. Detachment isn't disconnection, it's elevation. It's choosing where your mind goes, what your heart reacts to, and who gets access to your energy. From today forward, you live on your terms. You don't chase, you attract. You don't react, you respond. You don't explain, you move. You are calm. You are clear. You are in control. This is the art of not caring. Now go and protect your peace like it's your life, because it is.